XRP, global stablecoin to the world. Don't believe me when I say it, but you might want to start believing the IMF when they talk about it in the Financial Stability Board. Let's just get into this.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. So we are going to get into a document from Michael C. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, brother. From the IMF, who really start discussing what the Financial Stability Board have been discussing for quite some time. Now, we've been covering here, if you've not been following it on the channel, the idea of XRP becoming a global stablecoin, or the idea that a stablecoin would be launched off of the XRP ledger or token, and that could become a global stablecoin, because we know as of last year, I think it was November of 2019, David Schwartz did tell us that you could launch stable coins off of XRP and the ledger. So very exciting stuff there. But let's start right here domestically, and let's start with these companies: Square, Cash App, and PayPal. Together with Square's Cash App, the two companies are buying more than 100% of all newly issued Virgin Bitcoin. It says the letter said demand for PayPal's crypto service, which runs on Paxos fiat to crypto exchange, ItBit, had hit the roof. Thank you to Rob Licker for that piece of information right there. You are awesome, my friend. And let's go ahead and move to this. I mean, I want you to think about that now. We're talking about two different waves that just can't be stopped. One is that retail consumer buying wave coming into the scene, that, you know, these are not speculators really the way we are, right? We've been in this space a long time. These are just consumers who want to participate in buying some of this stuff. And obviously it's speculative for them too, but they're not taking the pioneer approach of going out and joining an exchange. They're using the cryptos and the Cash Apps and Squares to do these things. To me, it's just an enormous amount of people. We know that PayPal's got 300 million customers globally. So, I mean, that to me, I think just gives you an idea of the amount of volume we're seeing opened up that can participate in this space without having to go to an exchange like we all have had to do. Now, here's another angle here too. I have talked about debt suspension service initiative, which is the DSSI from the G20 for a while now. And there has been discussion about whether or not they would graduate that conversation from debt suspension service initiative to debt forgiveness. Well, I think that conversation is over. It is exactly how I've been saying it is, and that was just a beginning to a much deeper conversation about forgiving debt for some of the countries around the world, and it may include more than some. This weekend's G20, Kristalina Georgieva from the IMF says Leaders Summit endorsed a common framework for debt. Now the most vulnerable countries can apply for permanent debt relief with a level playing field for creditors. We must immediately move to implementation. Look, there is a candle burning at both ends of the wick here. One is the adoption of the tech and what the velocity of money can gain from the use of the technology of XRP. The other one is the insurmountable debt that is building on the entire planet, and it is insurmountable. To a great degree, I believe that they're going to have to do a debt jubilee. And is it 100%? Is it a 30% haircut? I don't know. But what I can tell you is I do believe we're absolutely going to see it. She confirms it here, honestly. So what we've been speculating about is now coming to fruition. It is no longer a debt suspension service initiative. It is now a debt forgiveness. Now, how wide this spans, whether it's all the countries or just some of the countries, does this go beyond the governments in a debt forgiveness, or does this trickle down to the consumer level in each country? I don't know that as of yet, but we're going to keep an eye on it. But we are absolutely one step closer to the other part of this equation because, look, let me just cover another piece of news here. And I covered this briefly this morning, and I went back into the article because I wanted to read something in that, and my points were flowing, so I went with it. But I want to show you something about this London-based think tank that says Ripple XRP remittance platform can minimize intermediaries and boost speed of international payments. Now, I want to go into this article just to show you this. It says right in this article, this is really the official monetary financial institutions forum, or OMFIF is what they call it, right? OMFIF. An independent think tank for central banking, economic policy, public investment, highlights Ripple's effort to position itself as an alternative to financial messaging service SWIFT in a new report on the role of blockchain in banking. And listen what this says here. By consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool, respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. So what this sounds like is a shared, right, moment where you're sharing in this XRP pool by being able to collateralize the actual pool via backed assets, whether it be gold, oil, dollars, right? You could actually begin, honestly, with backing fiat dollars to the central bank digital currencies. And because you're backing them with fiat in an account, you could use a percentage from, well, let me show you a picture. Well, let me just show you a picture. Shouldn't I? I should show you a picture. So here you go. This is why it's about all the money. The blue rings are central banks all around the world. The CBDC is what they're creating. The fiat reserve is the actual money backing it. Now, it could be more than just cash that they have from each country's dollar. It could be cash and gold. It could be other things. But for the simple part of this conversation, and just to keep it straightforward, let's just see it as it's been pitched by Mark Carney, which you're going to hear has been referenced in the recent document we're going to go over from Michael C. about how the IMF is referencing Mark Carney again and the idea of doing this exact thing. So you have this fiat reserve backed digital dollar from each central bank. And if they take these dollars that they're backing from Nostro Vostro accounts they have anyway, but let's just propose, just for an example's sake, let's just say that each central bank around the world is going to put up 20% of its 100% Nostro Vostro accounts around the world. Now, what they're suggesting is, and not that exact percentage, it's an example, but a smaller percentage chipped in by each individual central bank, right, to hold a reserve to their central bank fiat digital dollar. And a portion of that goes to an XRP pool. This XRP pool, plus the collateralization of the central bank digital dollar, is a smaller percentage when they share in that together collectively to get what they need to be able to do the same amount of daily volume payments. This way, the central banks can take the remainder of the money they have left over, right? And they can use that to build new products and services and get themselves turned around, because the central banks are the ones that bailed out the hedge funds and the rest of it in the last Great Recession. And now that we're in the next Great Recession, this one's going to be bigger and much worse because the central banks have no one else to turn to. So they have to turn to the dormant capital that has been locked up in central banks since there has been global payments. And the way to do that is like this, which is exactly what we're going to look at, because if we take a look at this document, I believe it's this one right here, from the Digital Money Across Borders, Macro Financial Implications. And what's interesting here is I'm going to show you what Michael C. sent me here. if you take a look at this, just even in the first executive summary here, rapid ongoing progress with digital technologies has increased the prospects for adoption of new forms of digital money, both domestic and international transactions. These include central bank digital currencies and the so-called global stablecoins, GSCs, proposed by larger technological companies or platforms. Well, I can't help but think of Ripple, right? I really can't help but think of Ripple at this point. Now, if I just move forward, let me skip through this. This entire document is fire, straight fire. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, brother. And let me move back to this page up here. All of it, I can't believe I have to skip through all of it, but I know nobody will watch the video if I make it as long as it needs to be. But if I look here, it talks about money, currency, and legal definitions concluded. This is the definition of global stablecoin as they understand it right now, applied and looked at with the understanding of what money actually is. The monetary and private law status of global stablecoin is unclear and will depend on the GSC's design features and the governing law. At any rate, GSCs would not be currency nor a payment instrument unless the law otherwise so determines. In many instances, the legal qualification of the GSC, global stablecoin, will likely be sui generis for each GSC. Careful analysis will be needed to determine its precise legal status, in which theory could range from money, electronic money, a commodity, a security, to a combination of those. It has important legal practical ramifications. For instance, if a global reserve global stablecoin is not expressed in an official monetary unit but becomes a de facto unit of account in the economic sense, it will still not be official monetary unit in the legal sense. Hence, contracts expressed in the GSCs might give rise to the monetary obligations which would have important legal consequences, e.g., with respect to force of majeure. So it may, however, still be the case that for other legal purposes, for determining tax liabilities, dealing in global stablecoins could be equated to money, currency, and taxed accordingly. See, now this to me, let me read the last part. The legal classification of global stablecoin consistent between jurisdictions involved in their use will have a direct impact on their capability of being widely used. Classifications of global stablecoins as a security would imply the application of securities laws and regulations, raising significant obstacles for the use of these GSCs as a cross-border means of payment. And herein lies where we need the clarity, right? This is where we need that clarity that says XRP is money, right? That's how it's going to work best, just like when I talked to Greg Kidd about it, formerly of Ripple and formerly at the Federal Reserve. The design for XRP works best and the model works best when it is money, period. And that's how we need to see it. So let me just move quickly here to page 20 so I can show you what we had there on page 20. Let's see. Like I said, this entire document is amazing. I hate to skip through it. The monetary policy implications of global adoption with multipolar, and it has four different scenarios about this idea with global stablecoins. Let me see here. Cross-border use of a CBDC could affect the monetary policy of an issuing country. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about this is that it says, on the other hand, the issuing central bank could increase seigniorage revenues. And seigniorage is exactly the method in which XRP was used in the pre-allocation of the accelerator program when they incentivized different areas of industry, whether it be banks or remittance companies like MoneyGram and things of that nature, to use the asset in their corridor and to stop using the traditional bridge of payment and path of payment and start using the new digital bridge path of payment, even if it cost them a little bit in the beginning, that basically Ripple would cover that cost that they had, because they knew as they used it, the benefits of using it would really start to really kick in like almost like a Javon's paradox, where you accelerate the use in customer base because of that flywheel, not a flywheel effect, but because of that perpetual effect of the customer wanting to come back because you've got the most cost efficient, the fastest settlement time, right? The payment is instantly there. All of that business, the scalability is there. And then all of this kicks in a Javon's paradox where it really begins to take over. So, all right, let me move again to the page 28 here. And nowhere in the document, I want full disclosure here, nowhere in the document does it specifically say Ripple or XRP, but it describes Ripple and XRP through the entire document. And then it does reference the closest step that it gets here is when it references in scenario 4 about central bank digital currencies and a global stablecoin become widely adopted and compete. Reserve holdings become more diversified, where you could branch out these reserve holdings to different assets, as I mentioned earlier. It references here, this is an IMF document from September, 2 months ago, 60 days ago. Carney 2019 suggests that a synthetic hegemonic currency backed by a basket of central bank digital currencies could achieve similar benefits to a multipolar world by generating confidence in the underlying central bank digital currencies and thus expanding the supply of safe assets. Now, this is exactly what he talked about in the 2019 with the G30. And he proposed that he literally said, Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England, literally said Ripple and XRP could be that systemic or synthetic hegemonic currency for the world. And you could do that by releasing these central bank digital currencies and backing them, like I showed you, with these images right here, with fiat cash reserves around the world. And they could all take a percentage of their Nostro Voce accounts, put those reserves in, launch the central bank digital currency off of the XRP Ledger open source technology, bringing an enormous amount of utility and synchronization to the network, increasing the value of the XRP token itself while it's being held in a giant pool for all of them to benefit from. You know, a lot of this sounds futuristic, and you think to yourself, you know, this just is, I just don't know, Brad. I mean, you know, I like seeing the market action, and let's look at the market action real quick here. We look at it, we got 48 cents. 48 cents. We're almost to 50 cents today. This is phenomenal. But when you think about that and you say, oh, you know, it's just a YouTuber and he's like speculating and it sounds cool. Well, let me ask you a question, because Brad Garlinghouse has said it. He has said it. It's right here.
I mean, certainly we do know of central banks looking at the XRP ledger as open source technology to issue stablecoins using the XRP ledger.
And there you have it. He just said it right there, and we've been listening to it, and I'm going to keep running it up the flagpole. And I want you to listen to this from Miguel Villas, courtesy of Digital Asset Investor. Listen to this clip right here.
And I believe, and I always will believe this, and hopefully I'll see it come true, that in my lifetime, we will see central banks hold digital currencies on reserve.
We will see central bank digital currencies hold on reserves. That's phenomenal. That's an incredible statement right there. Brad Garlinghouse saying we do know that central banks are looking at the XRP ledger to build and issue the stablecoins on. The IMF is talking about Mark Carney's reference to a synthetic hegemonic currency, which if you drill down on what Mark Carney said, he exactly referenced Ripple and XRP. XRP going to be a global stablecoin of this world, or it's either going to have a stable coin built off of it and launched off of it that represents that global stable coin for the central banks of this world to use. That's where I'm at this morning. All right, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. Before you get out of here, there is a conference coming up with Link2. I told you have to be an accredited investor to buy the really great companies that they have offered in private equity. But here's the deal. You don't have to be accredited to join the community. Join the community, get the free app, December 8th, December 9th. Adam Trademan SBI tied to Ripple over in Japan. Oh my goodness, BRD wallet. Forget about it. This guy's incredible. And then we're going to have JP Theriot there as well, and many, many more. Make sure you sign up, register for that, download the app. And if you are accredited, check out what they got. They got Ripple, they got Kraken, they got SoFi, Marqeta, they got all that stuff. So make sure you check that out as well. And one more thing before I go, Lisa Lang from the XRP community here wrote a really great letter for all of us, and I'm just going to show it to you here. And this is really a call to action, really, from every congressional representative that we all have. It is an open letter which you can send and put your name on it, and it's really great. And it goes through here and talks about how we need the clarity for digital assets and cryptocurrencies, so we can be a part and the leader of the fourth industrial revolution. It talks about clarity on whether it's a security, currency, or commodity, and how many people are in this space already, which is 60 million plus. And then we also she's giving support here for Brian Brooks, recently nominated as the OCC head of the Comptroller of Currency. And I just think it's a great letter, and I'm going to be sending that to my congressional representative. It will be in the comment section of this video in the last several. So make sure you get that printed out, write your name on it, and send it off in there. You never know what'll help. Just a little smoke to make a fire. All right, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share with somebody you know. There's really great Black Friday specials for you guys. Black Friday special on Pure VPN. Help hide your anonymity online. Black Friday special with Clinton Donnelly, the crypto tax fixer. Click on those links in the description box. They are vetted, trusted links. No doubt about it. I'll catch all of you on the next one.